Dear students, I hope you must have watched the first part of this poem that I uploaded on YouTube. Now we'll discuss the last two stanzas of this poem. In the third stanza, similar to the first and the second stanza, the poet describes the dark aspect of the slum children's life. And in the last stanza, he expresses his desire, the action that he wishes the authority to take, and also mentions the desirable change he feels this action will bring about. So surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example. So the poet is trying to convey that talking about Shakespeare in the class, talking about riches in the class causes something evil. And what it is about to come in the next line. The map a bad example. A good example is something that clarifies the idea. If I talk about, say, corruption, and I tell you that if a person out of the way favors somebody by taking bribe, that is corruption. So that example of taking bribe and helping somebody out of the way clarifies what is corruption. But if I give an example that you don't know about, that you can't relate to, that becomes a bad example. So here map is a bad example because whatever the map shows, the rivers, mountains, capes, they have never seen. So it confuses them more. So that is why map is a bad example. So map is a bad example. So the life that map shows, they have never seen. So they can't understand it. They can't relate to it. So that is why it is a bad example. With ships and sun and love. So here ships and love. So this is something which talks about the subjects of Shakespeare plays. Prosperity, ships, sun, both stand for the brighter aspect of life. Love stands for joy. They don't have all these in their lives, and when they see it, they feel like owning it. If not through fair means, then unfair means. Now, what is the unfair mean? To steal, tempting them to steal. So, this evil Shakespeare or his work cause in their life, in a bit they are told about it because it is an elementary classroom. This we are to keep in mind. So, tempting them to steal. So, that way Shakespeare is wicked. He is making them attracted towards stealing the objects that he is talk about, like prosperity, love, and brighter aspect of life, that means richness. For lives that slyly turn in their crammed holes. Here, lives refers to these children. So, this is partly metaphoric, that slyly, secretly turn in their crammed holes. So, this is metaphoric as well as hyperbolic. Their houses have been called holes. The poet is overstating about the poverty, misery of their houses. So, if houses are holes, what are the people living in such houses? Insects. Who live in holes? Insects. So the poet is saying these people have a very miserable existence like that of the insects. From fog, this is an image and alliteration as well. The fog symbolizes uncertainty, to endless night, to total hopelessness. A night, a life which doesn't have a bright day, means their life is all night, all frustration, all sadness. But there is a sign of interrogation. This sign of interrogation stands for a doubt, for a ray of hope. So, from fog, alliteration, first sound is repeated. Fog symbolizes uncertainty, and it is an image also. Fine, of fog, we can visualize the fog. On the slag heap, these children where skins peep through by bones and spectacles of steel with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. So here again he talks about their physical weakness and their poor financial condition. He goes to the extent of saying that their bodies are a dirt of heap. Uh, he is highlighting the dirtiness, the shabbiness. These children wear skins. In the image, you can see that bones are showing, means observable through the skin. So that is the bones peeping through the skin. Fine. Where skins peep through by bones. So this expression shows their physical weakness. As you can see in the picture, the children are undernourished. And spectacles of steel. So it's a frame, means a raw frame with mended glass. So here as the boy is wearing the specs. So the cracked glass like bottle bits on stones. This is a simile. A comparison has been made using like bottle bits, burr sound is repeated. This is alliteration also. This is image also. Means you can visualize the bottle bits, the pieces of bottled glass scattered over the stones. So again, their financial condition here is being highlighted, that they are so poor that they wear such poor specs and glasses whose frame is very poor quality and of poor quality, and the lenses too are cracked or smudged here and there. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. All of their time and space, everything happens in time and space. Time means it's a temporality, like a particular time, 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock. But here, all of their time means all. What is all our time? The day, the night, the months, the weeks, the years, and so on. So their time from morning to evening, from evening to morning, and their space, the slum, are foggy slum, uncertain slum. Again, symbol has been used. Foggy slum, uncertain slum, where their future is uncertain, their everyday is uncertain. They're not sure will they be getting their dinner or lunch. So that is foggy, uncertain, as in fog. The vision ahead is uncertain. You are unable to have a clear view. So similarly, they are not definite, clear about their future, about the next day in the slum. So blot their maps with slums. So the poet in this expression is expressing his frustration. So he says, if you are showing these children the Shakespeare, the rivers, the mountains, the picture of the parliament, the beautiful valleys, don't show them this. Don't show them the maps which shows the outside world. Darken their map, as here this map has been blotted with green. So darken their map with as big a say misery as their physical, financial, emotional state. Doom otherwise refers to ultimate devastation, ultimate destruction, where everything is destroyed. So the poet, in a way, is trying to say that in their life, everything has been destroyed. Their hopes, their wishes, their nourishment. So show them that misery, show them that devastation, and blot this open handed map with the darkness that they live in, that they live with. So, this is a simile as has been used. So, now starts the last stanza. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window. and these windows that shut upon their lives like catacombs break, or break open till they break the town. So, unless governor, the governmental authority, inspector, the protector of law, that he catches hold of the one who does something illegal or wrong, visitor, the charity doer. So the poet is addressing these three authorities, possibly the governor, inspector, and visitor. All these are not present here. The poet is addressing them through his poem in writing. So this is apostrophe. When you address an authority which is not present at that moment, this is called apostrophe. But if that authority is present and you are addressing, it is called invocation. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, means had these three been present there while he is addressing them, then it must have been invocation. So as they were not present at that moment, so it is apostrophe. This map becomes their window, open-handed map. So here this map refers to the open-handed map as shown in the picture, the first one, large map. And these windows, the next image, the windows of the classroom in the slum that shut upon their lives like catacombs. Now the third picture, catacombs. So what are catacombs? These are the columns and tunnels in the basement of the churches earlier where people were buried. So he compares the classroom of the slum to catacombs, specifically the windows. Why has this comparison been made? So, what happens to a dead body after it is cremated? It degrades. Okay, then it grows into dust. It is a famous expression of Bible, dust thou art and to dust thou return. That means ultimately you get reduced to dirt. Now understand this in the context of the poem. So the poet is trying to say that these children are not evolving in the classroom towards a better understanding with which they will move towards a better future. Rather, they are degrading with each passing day like a dead body does in the catacomb, in the grave. Break, oh, break open. So here break word has been repeated. Why? The poet is strongly conveying the need, immediate need of taking some revolutionary step. It is not physically breaking the classroom. It is taking them immediately out of this dismal, sad, bad situation till they break the town. So here he is warning these authorities that if they don't take any action immediately, understanding the urgency of it, these children will grow into criminals and tomorrow they will become vagabonds, terrorists, and destroy the town. So this break or break, this is also apostrophe. He is asking these authority to take such some action. So there is an addressivity in break or break. So that is why it is apostrophe. These authorities are not present. He is addressing them in their absence. So it is apostrophe. Let's discuss the last part of this stanza. And show them to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sand, and let their tongues run naked into books, the white and green leaves open. History theirs, whose language is the sun. And show them to green fields. This is again an image. Okay, green field symbolize prosperity and same does the gold sand. But together these two expressions means that these children should be shown the green fields and the gold sands. That means the outside world that is shown to them through the world map that they can't relate to, and because of that situation, that map turns into bad example. So first take them out of the slum. First, take them out of that classroom and show them the outside world that you are teaching them about the rivers, the mountains, the fields, the sands, and let their tongues run naked into books. So, this is an idiomatic expression. Tongue runs naked into books. It doesn't literally mean that they are to lick the books. That means to read abundantly, to read much into books. Now, what are the books here? Not exactly the book of paper. It is the white and green leaves open. The white leaves refers to the snowy peaks and the green leaves refer to the fields. The poet is trying to say, this is an extended metaphor. The poet is trying to say that let them read the book of the world first, the snowy peaks and the green fields. Okay, when they will see these aspects of the physical world themselves, then they will understand what they are taught well. Otherwise, they will remain depressed. And the poet concludes with a great thought. History theirs whose language is the sun. So, this is a metaphoric expression. So, how one creates language of the sun when one becomes one's own sun himself, that source of spreading light. And how would you do that? If you generate your own ideas, if you create your own ideas. And there were few who created their own ideas, like the scientists, okay, like the great philosophers, like William Shakespeare himself, like this poet Stephen Spender himself. So the poet is saying that if these children are taken to the outside world, shown the outside world, and made to live a carefree life, freed of their burden of slums, they can create history. So if we look back, only those people have created history who generated their own ideas. Okay, so this way the poem concludes at a positive note.